everyone. My name is Jennifer Rice, and I am here with the most amazing real estate agent pretty much east of the Mississippi, I'm pretty sure. Her name is Andrea. She covers Bluffton, Hilton Head, that whole area. So, hello, Andrea. How are you today?
Hi there from South Carolina. I would say sunny South Carolina. It's gorgeous out today. It's been really nice weather lately, so we're very lucky.
Oh, you're so lucky. Yes, it's 30 degrees and freezing here. So, just
Ooh,
one other reason we need to be in South Carolina and to be talking about South Carolina, right? So,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, so, just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into real estate and just whatever you'd like.
Sure. So my name's Andrea Fasano. I have the Fasano Group here at Keller Williams. We are the Low Country, and I serve Bluffton and Hilton Head, South Carolina, specializing in the 55 and older communities here, very active communities. I partner with my mother. Her name's Arlene Fasano, and so she's been in the business for over 40 years. We just love our lives here in sunny South Carolina. It's a beautiful place to live. It is really a place that you get to, I think, have an opportunity to enjoy life more, which is something that a lot of people, when they move here, and I'm from up north, I'm originally from Long Island, New York. I think a lot of people who do move down south have that similar mentality of just enjoying life while you can. And so, that all being said, I actually worked in the TV space before this. I was a producer for game shows, and then when the pandemic hit, I had already gotten my license in New York with the idea of helping my mom down here because they were living here for a while. And then that just pushed me into saying, you know what, life's too short. I'm moving to a sunnier, brighter place, and really have just loved life ever since. So
That's probably the best decision you've ever made, right?
absolutely, 100%.
You're a New Yorker, and I always hear so many people from the Northeast going down to either, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and that's of course, because the weather's so great. So you're on a team with your mom, and she already lived down there, and you guys do focus on the 55 plus community, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's just a natural niche for us because my parents have been living in Sun City, Hilton Head, which is technically in Bluffton, South Carolina. They built a house there in 2006. So just going back and forth over the years and really knowing that space has helped us. And in addition to that, me moving here, hanging out a lot there, they're very active in sports because it's, like I said, an active community, and insanely so. And so we get a lot of natural referrals through that, which is a huge asset for our business.
And, speaking of the 55 plus community, and a reason why I was excited to talk to you today was because a lot of our country is an aging population. And, you know, I live in Indiana. So, of course, it's colder in the winter, and people love to move down south. They love to move to North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, again, Georgia, and Hilton Head, Bluffton area. That's just a great place for people to move. So, can you talk just a little bit about do you have a large retirement community there? I know there's a big vacation population certain times of the year, but what about retirement community?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that question because there are, and I don't know if people know this, but I talk about Sun City a lot, like I said, just because my parents live there and we're extremely familiar with it. But there are four major 55 and older communities here. Sun City is one of them. That's a Pulte community, originally Del Webb. They also have a smaller niche of that, a smaller community called The Haven, also built by Del Webb and Pulte. It's been fully built out for a couple of years now. And that's like a 500 home community. Meanwhile, Sun City is over 10,000 homes. So huge difference there. And then they have Latitude by Margaritaville, which is Minto Builder. And that is a, middle ground as far as size community, I think like 3,000 or 3,500 homes. And then there's a newer one called Four Seasons at Carolina Oaks, and that's going to be about 550, 560 homes once it's finished, but that only just got started building a couple of years ago. So there is a variety for people. When I sit down with a client that doesn't exactly know, sometimes people are sent to me because they have friends in a particular area, and oh, they want to be down here, but they don't exactly know, like maybe they don't need all the amenities that one of these communities provides, but they just want a smaller, community that they can know their neighbors and stuff like that. So we really sit with them, kind of interview them and see what best fits. And then I take them to either the models or resales in that community.
So it sounds like you have a lot of new construction going on there.
Yes, the boom has been insane, obviously, since the pandemic, and just the infrastructure really is going to need to catch up to it because it has been just phenomenal the way and pace that they are moving at in all of these different communities and Bluffton in general. You know, Hilton Head is it was built mostly in the 70s, and so it's mostly finished. There is still some new construction going on there. But you're talking about luxury condos, luxury apartments. Here it's happening all over the place. So, you know, it's exciting and interesting, but it's also you want to preserve the nature and the reason that people love to move down here. So we're hoping that that happens as well.
Sure, of course, there's a lot of protected wetlands and things like that, I'm sure.
Yep,
Um,
marsh and all
well,
that stuff.
yeah, for sure, and definitely that's part of the beauty of going to Hilton Head on vacation or, moving down there.
Hmm.
Well, kind of transitioning, so you have a large retirement community. What about investors? Do you see investors looking for opportunities in your area? And if so, kind of maybe segue into how the market's doing there. What's your median home price, et cetera?
So it's super interesting because we base everything now on like pre-pandemic, pandemic, post-pandemic, right? And I don't know if everyone does this, but because this area is such a bubble and the 55 and older communities itself are bubbles within the bubble of Hilton Head and Bluffton, it's just taken on kind of a life of its own, and you see the rise and fall with the market of what's happening there. So immediately post-pandemic, um, everything went up. It shot up over 200%. It was just kind of a crazy market here, and people were buying up everything because, of course, like everywhere, the interest rates were lower. And if they had to renovate, people had cash and money to do that. Well, now that the market's kind of slowed for buyers, the inventory is shooting up, and that includes condos and investment properties on Hilton Head. That's really where you can do the Airbnbs, the VRBOs, and management companies to run those properties. And, you know, it's beach cyclical with the season, but really people come here year round. So it doesn't really matter, but there's the whole investment community there. And so there is a huge surge in inventory just throughout both of these towns because of what's happening in the market and with the interest rates and stuff like that, just buyers slowing down, people waiting on what's happening with the economy, everyone unfortunately watching the news and taking that as the holy grail. So it has picked up, and so that's brought prices down. I wouldn't say prices were now at a pre-pandemic level, but they are down from what they were post-pandemic. So, we're still
Sure.
post-pandemic, but you know what I mean, like right after it happened. So,
Okay.
people are still, I think, watching the market and kind of being very careful with it. But I would say now is like the best time out of the last 5 years to get a deal. I don't care if it's a full-time residential or second home or investment property, because especially with this area being a little older, people have reasons they need to move: medical, death,
Sure.
unfortunately, marriages, babies, all people go back to their grandchildren, whatever the case may be. And so if they need to sell, there's a high chance of getting a better deal than you could have the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. So I know you guys have like a condo market, and then the single family home market. So say someone's looking for a single family home, what's kind of the median price that someone could expect? And I know it probably ranges, but condos are a little bit different.
Right. And I'm looking because I know I had sent you that material and then I never, I want to go back to
Well,
it just to kind
well,
of see.
that's totally fine, because for example, right now, Indianapolis, so in the city of Indianapolis, metro, our average home price is 254. Um,
Wow.
of course, in the suburbs, it's a little different. In the northern suburbs, for example, our median price is 469 right now. So, and Hilton Head's, a little small. Bluffton Hilton Head's a little smaller. So,
Right.
um, you know,
So Hilton Head in general is, and this is great, I have it right in front of me. It actually, the median sales price went down. And so obviously Hilton Head people think like $1 million homes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's saying, and the most updated I have is from February, so it went down from 780 to 692.
Hmm.
However, with the Bluffton market, it went up. So the median sale price in 2024 was 512, and now it's gone up for February of 576. So that's
Oh,
an amazing increase, 12.5%. And then in Hilton Head, because you do have attached and detached homes, the one that I just read was sorry, detached. For
sure.
the attached homes, which is going to be your condos and your investment properties and stuff like that, it went up from 296 to three. Hold on, I just lost it. Sorry, my computer's freezing. But now it's in the
That's
low
okay.
threes. So it
Okay.
overall the median price has gone up for attached condos, but for detached it's actually gone down, which is
Wow.
extremely interesting.
It is very interesting.
Yes,
So
yes.
it, it's a good time for both people who are retiring, investing, anyone who wants a second home. There's people that I know here in Indy who have a second home, a condo there. So they love it. And I mean, I think the people who love Hilton Head are the ones that just go there every single year for vacation and they end up falling in love and buying
Hmm.
a second home. And it's just amazing, amazing
And that's
opportunities
what's
right now, right?
exactly, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No,
that's
yeah.
what's so interesting. The fact that Hilton Head alone, it's small, just like you said, but there are so many opportunities because even in Bluffton, like everything was a planned community. And so in Hilton Head, there are so many little niche communities that you could be, like looking at, and it could be either on the beach or a little like step in in the middle of Hilton Head too. So there's a difference of price there as well. But really, you're not even 15 minutes from a coast. You know what I mean? From a beach in every way that you look at it. So it's a pretty wonderful place. It really, really
Yeah,
is.
that's amazing. As I hear ice pellets outside,
Yeah.
falling,
I'm
which
so
is
sorry.
amazing.
Come visit.
I know, right? Like this is out of control. We're April 9th. Okay, this is
Yeah, yeah.
wild. Um,
Ugh,
well,
I
another
don't
reason
miss that. I'm just gonna say that. I do not miss
right.
it.
No, and New York, I'm sure, the Northeast, it was snowing yesterday, so you
Ugh,
really have the life, okay?
yes.
Um, another reason I was excited to talk to you is because you and your mom, as a team, you guys are the expert in your area. And I know you do tons with the community there. So, if you helped someone move from, another state to your area, either helped an investor or helped someone who's retiring or just a family who's looking for a vacation home, you are an expert in the area and you guys do lots of events. So what kind of events are you guys doing?
Yes. Thank you for asking that because we have an event that's very unique and it gets a lot of good attention. And funny enough, it's only been our second year doing it, but it is called a clothes swap. And so, events, because like we said, there are so many planned communities around here, you can kind of do one for each community and it stands out in that community. It's a way to get your name recognition out there. It brings value to your community, whichever one that is. And the whole point of events is to capture information. And so this was just a really natural way of doing that. I want to preface with the fact that I hate doing that. So my business is about 99% referral, which I
Mhm.
love because when people get referred to us, they either have been like prepped with who we are and we kind of have instant trust and notoriety with those clients, or I'm able to have a quick chat with them and it's like we click right away. So that's a really exciting part of my business because I don't have to talk to really like strangers a lot.
Sure.
And it's just I'm more awkward in those scenarios. And some people they're excellent like that. And that's just not my jam. As a realtor, you have to find what works for you. So
Hmm.
doing these things in the communities that are more true to who I am, even though I am meeting then those strangers, it helps make that connection quicker than if someone just walked in the door or answered a lead or something like that. So, what we have is a clothes swap, and it's something that I used to do when I lived in Los Angeles. You basically just invite a bunch of people over, and usually females, just because we like the clothes and stuff like that. And we go through our closets, and everyone looks for things that are either new with tags that they've never worn, or clothes that you've worn before, that's still in great condition. It's clean. You run it through the wash, but you're bored of it. A blazer or something that you're just
Sure.
like, I've worn this enough. I'm tired of it. So we've formed this event in the Sun City community where people put together and donate. I ask that they donate somewhat ahead of time. So anyone who can does. It sets up basically like a pop up thrift shop. And we have hangers and, what are they called? Like retail store, just
Oh
places to
yeah.
put things and tables. And we provide a lunch for them. And this year, so we just had it 2 weeks ago. And this year we had like a Prosecco happy hour. And I had sponsors come in. And so they sponsored it because the room at this venue was expensive. It was pricey, but they covered it. And then they got, some FaceTime with these people, were able to promote their products. And it just went off like amazingly. It was such a good day. We wound up capturing 100 and over 100 new names and contacts. And
Wow.
just, it was so much fun. And it was really, like I said, it's just something that's true to my heart, because then what happened is all of the leftover product and material that we have, we donate to a thrift store that raises money for victims of domestic violence. So it's a good like a feel good event, and you give back, and people are thrilled. We even had some decor this year, and people were leaving with pillows and I don't know, hang pictures and stuff. It was really cool. So that's one of the
Oh,
best and most fun events that we put together.
okay, that actually sounds like an amazing event. And I know I had heard you do this event last year, and I was so intrigued. And I'm
Yeah.
so glad you talked about it this year, because I'm sure a lot of people who are going to watch this video are going to, implement or maybe reach out to you, because that's such a great idea. And what you mentioned, you get to meet all sorts of people who are interested in the same things that you are. Also, it brings the community together. So a lot of those people met people that they didn't know before. And those events that bring the community together, and then also you donated, for a good cause. Those are always the best events, right?
Yeah, yeah, it did. It felt really good. We learned a lot from doing it last year. We were running around, and I have just such a great community myself, like our own business. We had about 16 helpers, people just being runners for clothes, for
Wow.
people who brought them last minute, so helping us set up, organize, run around. And then I buy them dinner, and we're all happy, and we kind of celebrate for a successful event. So it's really, really nice and really kind. And I'm just so grateful for that.
Well, you know what? It sounds like you have a great life in South Carolina. So you're close to Charleston? What is it, an hour or two or something
Yep,
away?
we're 2 hours south of Charleston. It's a straight shot. We're only 25-30 minutes from Savannah, which is fantastic because that is
Wow.
such a wonderful city, with the cobblestone streets, and Riverwalk and the riverfront in Savannah. And we're 4 hours from Atlanta. So we're in a really good position here to kind of spend a day doing whatever you want. It's lovely.
Yeah, so you're close to all the major cities that people love to go to. People love to go to Charleston. That you could make that a day trip, if you lived
Hmm.
in your area, even Atlanta, right? So this is why people need to consider moving to South Carolina. It's warm in April. It's not snowing,
Yeah.
and there's just so much to do and so much to offer. And if they are looking, you are the expert. So I'm just so thankful that I was able to talk to you today. And I think I'm going to see you in a few weeks in Orlando, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
Yep, can't wait. Elevate 2025. Let's go. So
It'll be
excited.
awesome.
Disney.
And I need the warm weather. Okay. Just let me do this. Okay. Awesome.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it. And anyone who's looking to move to Hilton Head, Bluffton area, you know who is the expert, Andrea. So thanks again, and hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks. Same to you. Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
Thank you. Bye bye.